Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So today let's talk about Bitcoin and its massive pre-halving rally, which is already ongoing. But the halving event is coming. Less than 30 days. And there are a lot more gains to be had. So let's talk about this and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto today. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. Look at Bitcoin holding above $70,000, nearing 71,000. We're not too far off from our all-time high and from forming a new all-time high, more importantly. Okay, we are trending up once again, and this happened despite Grayscale still having massive outflows, okay? But the ETFs countered it yesterday. They took it like a champ. So you could see ETFs see a 15 million comeback, best close in 10 days. Man, Grayscale has been giving the market a beating, an absolute beating. Look at what happened last week, okay? We had so many greens, which means we had more inflows than outflows. And then you look at what happened last week, and man, we had a horrible outflow week. And that's all thanks to Grayscale, dumping some more. And yesterday, Grayscale dumped some more at $350 million. But the other ETFs were able to soak it up, and you could see that's why we had a tiny little sliver of green. We had a net 15 million inflow into the ETFs versus the outflow. So Grayscale isn't helping. But you know they can only sell for so long. In about 2 weeks, BlackRock will flip Grayscale in terms of overall Bitcoin holdings. They can only sell so much, and once they permanently stop selling, you know what? Then the market is going to blow up. And this could relate to this massive pre-halving rally, right? That we will be seeing. So it's good. It's good overall. And you know, Hong Kong is trying to come out with their own spot ETFs. And a lot of people think that the Hong Kong ETFs will be even bigger than the US ones. There's something very different about the ones that they are coming out with, which actually can be used, I think, to redeem Bitcoins, which is kind of interesting. In the US, you can't do that, but in Hong Kong, it seems like that's what they want. But anyways, that's coming up Q2. Okay, so that's coming right around the halving event or maybe a little bit afterwards. So think about all the buying pressure that we had so far in the US. Now amplify that even more in Hong Kong and the Asia region. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And that's also coming up in just a few months. Again, this is all adding up. El Salvador also taking 1 Bitcoin away from supply every single day, and they have been doing it for years. And now they have accumulated 5,700 Bitcoin, roughly worth $400 million. Of course, most people cannot buy 1 Bitcoin per day, but as a country, I think that's pretty easy to do. And through their DCAing, they have hit $400 million in a very short amount of time. That is staggering. That means El Salvador doesn't have to be as dependent or reliant on the World Bank or the IMF. That's why they were very angry when Bukele announced that he was going to adopt Bitcoin strategy like Michael Saylor. They urgently told him not to, but he didn't care. And now he's sitting pretty with almost $500 million of the Bitcoin and continues to go upwards. So he's doing it right from a country standpoint, and other countries are paying attention. Also, from the whale perspective, whales and sharks have both been accumulating a lot recently. I shared how, unfortunately, a lot of the retail investors have been selling out. They've been panicked, and then they sold, and you know, that's unfortunate because guess where the Bitcoin's going? To the sharks, to the whales, to the institutions. They continue to load up while retail panics. Like, how does that make sense? You don't want to do that. You've been accumulating, DCing all these years. Why would you want to sell now? Right before the most bullish time ever in a cycle, and that's the halving event. And look at the exchange reserves. Again, if you're looking at this, even if you don't know anything about Bitcoin, and you show someone this and you're like, okay, this is the supply of Bitcoin that exists that are on the exchanges. And if you're looking at this pattern, like, wouldn't you become really bullish? Because you're looking at it, you're like, okay, we peaked in 2020 and the supply has been dropping dramatically since then. And if this continues, that means in a few years, there will be no more Bitcoin on the exchanges. It'll basically drop to zero like pre-2014 levels, right? I mean, so how can you not be bullish about Bitcoin just looking at the reserves? The reserves keep on dropping at a much faster pace than when it rose, right? So, I mean, it's just as simple as that. Supply and demand. There's not enough supply. There's way more demand than supply. And that's why Bitcoin will keep on going and keep on going higher. You just have to have patience. And speaking of that halving event, it's going to come in less than 27 days. 27 days and 12 hours, less than a month away. And this is the most bullish catalyst for price appreciation. Okay? It's bottom line. Bottom line. As good as ETFs have been, as good as the whales and sharks have been at buying, and you know, we got some good macro factors at play too. Now we know the rate cuts are coming. All of those things are great catalysts that are driving and will drive Bitcoin higher. But the one event that is the most bullish of anything I've said and of all cycles is the halving event. You just look at the charts and you'll know. Every single time after the halving event, Bitcoin starts rising up in a big, big way. It's as if people have set a schedule of their buying to come right after the halving event. It's almost like that. And maybe it is set like that because people know it's coming. Approximate day, April 23rd, so less than a month away. Okay, and what could be happening? Well, if we're following if we're following the same pattern as we have seen before, we're going to see some tremendous gains. If you look at the right side, that's what actually happened in 2017. After the halving event, okay, things just started blowing upwards, like just crazily. Just kept on going and going and going and going and going. So this time around, I mean, the pattern looks pretty similar. Very similar indeed. But obviously the numbers are much bigger. But if this repeats what happened in a previous cycle, that means that pre-halving rally will push us to about $100,000 and beyond, right, by April, right around the halving event. And considering that we're at $70,000, it's not far-fetched. If we were sitting at $30,000 and I'm telling you guys that in a month we could go to $100,000, that's far-fetched. But considering we're at $70-something thousand and we could be in $80,000 in short order, this is not far-fetched at all. And that's how bullish the halving event is. And here's another example of what happens after a halving event. I mean, you clearly see, right? Now, in 2020, because of the COVID crash, we did have a little bit of waiting. After the halving event, we didn't start skyrocketing immediately. We started trending upwards, and we had to wait a few months until October, like September, October, before Bitcoin started rallying in a big way. So we did have to wait a little bit in 2020 because it was a really weird year, right? But this time, we don't have that weirdness. We don't have the pandemic. We only have great macro factors in play that will help accelerate things. And I just mentioned Hong Kong getting ETFs. We already have ETFs and the 3 rate cuts that are coming this year and a presidential election this year. These are all huge catalysts, macro factors that will help Bitcoin this cycle. So again, 100,000 by April. Who knows where we will be at by the end of this year and where we would be at by the end of 2025. And that's the thing. This year isn't even supposed to be that bullish. It's supposed to be 2025. And we're still sitting in the first half of 2024. So think about that. Take a second to think about it. That's why I think most altcoins, even the biggest caps that we have, with the exception of maybe Ethereum because it's already too big, but even something like Cardano or Avalanche or Solana, even the big caps, I think can do a 10x, 10, 15x this cycle because we are still so early. Very, very early. So watch out. The pre-halving is starting right now. You could argue it started yesterday. That's why we came up so much. So you could argue yesterday was a full moon and it started. And the last few times we had a full moon, Bitcoin went crazy from the 30s to 50s, from the 50s to 70s. And now we have a full moon and we go push from 70s to 90s or 100. We'll see. All right. But you know what? Like I said, I think all the big caps, all the alts are going to explode along with Bitcoin. This is actually looking at USDT dominance. I didn't know USDT had a dominance, but I guess it makes sense because USDT always gets minted more. And if you look at the overall market value versus USDT value, there is a dominance. Okay, you could chart it. And you can see the dominance is starting to break. But we do have an enormous amount of USDT. You look at it, they're sitting at number 3, 104 billion. Why do you think there's 104 billion in Tether? Well, people obviously have switched fiat to Tether so that they can buy crypto with it, right? So we got $100 billion plus sitting there waiting to enter the market. This is not even about conversion. It's already here. It's already in the market waiting for people to buy. And we're seeing a lot of narratives happen, right, that I've been talking about. We've been seeing a lot of alts and memes go up. A lot of it is due to obviously due to USDT, the stable coins on the sidelines, but there are so much more on the sidelines waiting to enter. This cycle is going to be unlike any other cycle in previous history. This may be the biggest cycle we have ever seen in our lifetime. Think about that. And I've seen a lot of cycles almost going back all the way to the beginning. And this one could be more explosive than all of them. For not only Bitcoin, but for alts. I mean, it's for everything. So that's absolutely fantastic. Just a few other crypto news. Totally of Solana is very bullish about SolMail, and he tweeted out this where now you could send emails directly on Solana's blockchain. I don't know how impressive that is. I'm thinking others can already do this, but SolMail shot up to the moon after and totally tweeted about it. So good for them. And they have a Sol chat too that people's been asking about. So there's a lot of like mini utility dApps or whatever. Not really excited about those things. I did also see this. There's another L2 called Blast that no one's talking about, but they have incredible TVL. They've been rising up really fast. And the funny thing is, it's all due to this one game called Crypto Valleys. And it's all pixelated. It looks exactly like DeFi Kingdoms. This is exactly what DeFi Kingdoms did when they existed on Harmony, right? They were the biggest DEX on Harmony, brought in a lot of volume, and it seems like it's happening again with Blast. Kind of interesting. But again, I don't think a lot of people concentrate on Blast. I don't either, but they are definitely a rising star in the L2 space right now. So that's pretty good. And then lastly, some people mentioned this yesterday. The SEC is seeking a $2 billion fine against Ripple. This may be the final straw, okay? We know that they had a lot of lawsuits against XRP and Ripple and the founders. The founders were found not guilty. XRP was found a non-security. So this last one is in relations to their ICO of XRP, right? So $2 billion fine, which is enormous. Ripple does not want to pay it. They'll probably settle somewhere in between. But if they get rid of this and they settle, then that's it. There's no more lawsuits against Ripple or its founders or against XRP. This is big. This is very, very big. And to be quite frank, Ripple can pay $2 billion. They have more than enough money to pay this. This is like chump change to them. But it's the principle of it. They don't want to lose any ground against the SEC. No one wants to lose against the SEC. And you got to give Ripple props because they did defend them with I forgot what the legal costs were, $200 million or something. And they won a lot for not only themselves and crypto. Well, this is the final battle here. So we'll see. If they win, this could be also a very good catalyst for the entire market, not just Ripple. All right. That's pretty much it. Bitcoin is still looking really, really strong. Let's see if it can push to a new high today. All right, let's do Q&A. Jose says, people selling Bitcoin now, we call them lettuce hands. That's right. Dave Portnoy had lettuce hands. He bought Bitcoin, he sold it, then he went hard into SaveMoon, lost a whole bunch of money. Now he doesn't want to touch crypto because of it. Tribe Samurai, welcome, new member. Let's see. XO George, I'm ready for the challenge for whatever you have it, just letting you know again and again. Yeah, it's been delayed a little bit, but I still want to do a lot of cool, really cool challenges, contests later this year, so you guys have to prepare for that. The halving event is on a full moon. Is it really? Because that would actually be absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you guys, I know a lot of you guys don't believe it, but you know, you just look at the facts here. Look at that. The last full moon, Bitcoin was at 51,000, and it didn't stop until 73, until the opposite of full moon, and then and the full moon before that, Bitcoin went from 40,000 or 30 something thousand to 50 something thousand, right? So this full moon was yesterday, and then we started going upwards. There's something to the full moon. Look at it. Full moon here, Bitcoin trending upwards. Full moon here, Bitcoin trending upwards. Full moon here, Bitcoin trending upwards. Right now, full moons are our friends. Rune is pumping right now. Thorchain is doing very well. You know what else is doing well? I couldn't help but notice, but WIF is killing it. WIF is above $3, 3.2 billion. I did say I think WIF is going to be SHIB of this cycle, and they are absolutely killing it in terms of being a meme coin. So they are actually the same market cap as Thorchain. Let's see. Can Congress pass regulations and kill Bitcoin and alts? Yes, they could, but no, they won't. Thoughts on Runa's native BTC swaps? Sure. They're not the only ones, but it's rare to have native BTC swaps, and it's good for them. When Quant HBAR live or 100x? Probably never. Neither one is going to do 100x from here. What about SHIB with Hatcoin? No. It's a copycat, so no. Let's see here. Sold half my ETH to buy Solana. Good choice. I don't know. I like Solana. I think it's going to appreciate better than ETH. We'll see. I think you think the same thing. That's why you made that decision. What do you think about betting games? There's a new token called Meme Combat. It's been going down, but I made 2K betting on that game. It looks very clean. Sure. So I've heard that name before. I've never checked it out. I'm not a big gamer. I'm just not. So, do you think Kimball could go to 500 million this cycle? I don't know. I don't know. They're one of the bigger memes on Avalanche, but I don't know if they can get there. Maybe. Maybe if Cock is close to there, maybe they have a chance. Thoughts on TRU, RWA token, 100 million market cap, can it 10x? Sure it can. TrueFi? Actually, I don't like TrueFi. They're the founders of TUSD. So unless they changed, because they were more like a DeFi play, not a RWA token. Yeah, so they're not really RWA. They're not about tokenizing anything. They're a stablecoin issuer. Ben says, looking to retire end of 25. Thoughts if I have enough. It depends on how much you want for retirement. So I don't know. What you have, probably close to, 400, 500,000 by the end of the cycle. So I don't think that's enough to retire. Thoughts on Toshi on base? Not a big fan of cats, but it's making me stupid good money. Well, I mean, all memes on base seems to be doing good. So good for you. Even Aerodrome Finance. Like I keep saying I don't like base, and Aerodrome Finance just continues to kill it. So, I mean, base right now is gaining a lot of traction for sure. Solid project, I can see a 10x this cycle. Basically, everything I cover can do 10x this cycle. Smoky, ETH every day. You mentioned Stanley Pup, March 20th. Look at that on the chart. Love your insight on the meme. I've been looking at it. Stanley Pup is a slow-moving meme, but they seem to be doing very well. So, yeah, like 4 million. Actually, look at it. It looks like they had a huge spike that came down a little bit, but they're trending up a little bit every single day. I love the name. And the founder is working hard to grow this project. So I think they could do very well. Why do you believe Congress will not kill crypto? Why do you believe they will? And most of them hold crypto. Why would you? Why would they? Is GDP sell-off for cheap Bitcoin for the ETFs? I don't know what you mean by that. So the other ETFs could buy at a cheaper price? That's no, probably not the reason. Where's your bell? It ran out of battery when I moved. So I never got it back. Thoughts on Mina? It's okay for L1. It's okay L1 chain. Jorge, cheers. Meme hit a new all-time high. Okay, good. Do you agree that based on utility, Cosmos has potential to perform better if they fix their tokenomics? Yes. That's the only thing holding them back. Their tokenomics sucks. Any way to get my money out of a scam contract? Won't let me swap back on Uniswap. I guess not. No. Any risk of these coins in my wallet? No. PTSD is getting some momentum. I did look at them yesterday. But yeah, they're doing okay. They're holding pretty well. And then I noticed Costco hot dog was also climbing too. This name is just so funny. I think this could be one of those silly ones that could also blow up too. Zappo lists on Mexi tomorrow. This Zipto or something. Spend easier. Makes the global blockchain economy accessible to everyone. It's like a DeFi app. They had to reuse the same picture twice on this homepage. Okay. You know, I just don't like an early stage project like this. I know you got to start somewhere. I just don't see a lot of people really trusting a project like this. Like a relatively unknown project, and then, you know, we'll see. Got 310,000 ADA. How far do you think ADA will go? It'll go straight to zero is where it's gonna go. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's good. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It still needs to go up 78% to get to its previous high. It'll do that this cycle, and then we'll see where it goes afterwards, right? Cardano is always slow, and then it just starts moving upwards. I mean, it always does that. It just becomes really stagnant, and all of a sudden it starts pumping, like every single time, every single cycle. Do you think Alchemy Pay will hit $1? Considering it 4 cents, probably not. No, they were only 16 cents before, so no, I don't think they're gonna hit $1. What do you think about Spell Token's current DeFi project? Isn't it Abracadabra? Yeah, it's part of theirs. No, don't like it. Don't like that project either. Pizza Hut. Jordan, you used to love ADA. What happened? I never really loved ADA. I was always neutron ADA. I just said that, you know, I've always missed the pumps for ADA because it's so damn boring, and I didn't miss a huge pump from like under 10 cents to $3, but it's being driven by Charles. That's really it. Haskell is a difficult language to program, and you know, there's not a whole lot of activity right now. And Cardano also suffers from scaling too. Ronnie, appreciate that. Your thoughts on Miladies? Is that what ladies? It's an old project. Old meme. 200 something million. It's actually quite impressive because I think I saw them around here or something, and then they just absolutely collapsed. Right now they came back up. Not the biggest fan, but you know, they're doing quite well, and they're on ETH too. ETH coins, ETH memes are starting to catch a little fire. You know, obviously ETH led the memes, and then it turned to Solana. Solana's still hot, but like ETH is starting to gain ground, and base memes are really gaining ground. Emilio, I already talked about Aerodrome because of the memes going bonkers on base. Aerodrome is doing very well, so it could continue to keep going up. Did you hear about based AI and farming it via Pepe coin? No. No. Been farming Blast airdrop. Check out District 1. Am I creator of Bitcoin? No, I'm not Satoshi Nakamoto. Not smart enough. District 1. You mean this? This is an old project, man. Very, very old project. I don't even remember what it's about, but it's been out for a while. Powered by Ethereum, Aragon, and IPFS, decentralized marketplaces, and communities. Yeah, you got all these districts and stuff. Never quite understood what this project is about. I remember it now, but don't quite understand it. Virtual protocol. Up a good amount today. AI times metaverse that is building the future of virtual interactions. Decentralized factory for producing diverse AI entities capable of, okay, so it's an AI bot marketplace or AI bots. The website is absolutely horrible. It's horrible. Okay, that's not a realistic AI. That's just like a, you know, like a chat bot or whatever. I'm gonna say no to this project. Michael, new member, welcome. Jimmy, gifted 1 membership. Thank you. You know what? I think I can give some memberships too. I don't know if I could. Let me see. Membership gifting. Oh, I could give 5 right now. Fetch AI up 15% today. Price prediction. Fetch is being carried by the AI narrative, right? And I think they'll continue to go upwards. They're already all-time high. It's really hard to say, well, they need to get back up here for all-time high. They can easily do a 10x from here. Edso, not a fan of ICP, so not go talk about it. I sold my Solana, bought Sei, Sui, and Suku. Thoughts? You may live to regret that. But although those ones are decent. Tribe, gifted 1 membership. Thank you. Rob, you're awesome teacher about crypto. Enjoy listening. Thank you for that. Is Algorand dead? What are your thoughts? Yeah, I got off the Algorand bandwagon. They disappointed me. They had too many moves. Too many moves. When the founder or whatever, founder, CEO of a project leaves, I hate to say it, there's a little red flag there. And that's what happened with Algorand. And they're still declared as a security by the SEC. And their biggest DEX, AlgoFi, went bankrupt. There's a lot of like bad stuff that happened to Algorand. They could still come back and do well, but they're held back by a few things. Leroy, big $50 super chat with some emojis. I appreciate that. Thank you. I sold all my saying Sui for Kulo. Kulo was very hot last night, and then it cooled down a little bit. You think XRP will finally pump? If it had some memes under it, it could. XRP Ledger, you know, I know XRP is trying to fund dApps to come aboard XRP Ledger, so it's not just used for banks. If there were some like crazy memes on XRP Ledger, I think that could definitely help XRP. One of the good things about XRP is it does have a set supply. And actually it does have burning too. It's just very, very small burning. But unlike a lot of coins out there, it does have a set supply. So you got to give them credit for designing that. Ernest, good morning, George. I hope all is well. What are your thoughts on Mantle's gamified meme coin Puff? Well, first of all, Mantle is not that big. So to create memes on a project that's not that big, I don't know if it could gain that much momentum. 50 million isn't bad. Puff, this does not look like a meme coin. This looks like a game. I guess it is a meme. Man, they hold a lot. Early contributors 12%, and then partnerships 10, and then 3. That's like 25% that they're holding. I mean, that's a lot. Liquidity is fine. Genesis potions, I don't know what that means. And Puff drops is airdrops. So, I mean, they still hold an enormous amount. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. But it's on Mantle. Mantle is just not a very popular chain right now. UFO gaming. I have not heard anything about UFO gaming for a long time. Do you think we're going down to fill the gap? No. When it does, it just does. But no. Arrow's on fire right now. It is. CCPT from Circle just went live today on Solana and other bullish news. What does CCTP do again? I think it allows native swapping between different chains for USDC. Yeah, I think that's what it does. And that's pretty good. What is the best Solana platform and wallet? I would say if you're a Solana guy, just go with the Phantom wallet. Phantom wallet actually is awesome. I actually enjoy it more than MetaMask, but it just doesn't support as many chains. But Phantom does support Bitcoin, BRC20, and so forth. It supports ETH and it supports Solana, but most people, I think, just use Phantom for Solana stuff. Should I be concerned that Phantom's TVL is so low and not growing? Well, they need to fix that. And the answer is yes. G-Wagon or Solana? Well, it depends. Depends on if you want to treat yourself or you want to keep on investing. Do you know anything about Radiant? No, I don't. Leroy. Thank you. Creditify is up 500%. You think the next big RWA coin? It doesn't show up. Probably too new. Probably too new. Natalie, appreciate it. My old 1988 G-Wagon is still good and daily use. Awesome. Awesome. They pretty much all look the same, except the interior changes. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Overall, guys, massive pre-halving rally. I believe we're in it already, but it's going to get even better. Okay? If Grayscale stops selling, we're going to go to the moon. And that may be happening. And then we got more ETFs coming. We got the whale still loading up. We got a lot of good macro factors. A whole bunch of stuff that will send us much, much higher. All right, guys. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I won't be streaming later today. This whole week, this upcoming week will be different because I will be traveling. I'll still try to come out with videos for you guys, but my schedule is going to be a little bit different this week. All right? Have a good one. Take care. And take a look.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.